Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekend DSP. This is for the week of October 28th, 2019. I'm sorry that this one is almost a week late, but there's no time to make excuses. We just got to pick right up where the Halloween begging part 1 left off. Now, we talked about his schedule before where he was already planning on taking a day off on Tuesday. So, of course, that means he doesn't really need that $1,800 if he's not willing to stream all 7 days in order to raise that money, right? So we go into Wednesday, the 30th, where this $1,800 is supposed to be due, and a new whale looks like they've shown up. No Couture subbed to him overnight and dropped a $100 tip with their sub. Now, No Couture is an interesting name. Keep that one in mind, because during the day stream on the 30th, and I can't even be fucked to remember what game he was playing, this guy dropped a couple hundred more dollars to get DSP to the 1,800 goal. I've also been a little late, obviously, and this guy has been in his stream dropping $50 and $100 tips in his streams since. So this looks like the new Planet Jeff, maybe? I've heard that this isn't Planet Jeff from someone who's very credible on identifying Phil's pay pigs. But as always, the revolving door of pay pigs continues. Planet Jeff gets doxxed, he gets scared off, doesn't show up in the streams anymore. Oh look, here's someone else waiting in the wings for their chance to be in the spotlight. So DSP was really happy to hit the $1,800 goal during the day stream because he said that meant he could pay the bills over his break and relax for his night stream. So he comes back on October 30th in the evening with WWE 2K20, and guess what's back? That's right, the $100 stream tip goal returns. He's completed his weekly goal of $1,800, and he wants another 100 on top of that. Now keep that in mind when we go into the last day of October, the big Halloween marathon. This is an event that his fans gifted subs and subbed to his channel in order to hit a number of subs that he picked. I can't even remember how much it was, because this is, 2 months ago that he set this up? And he's supposed to be playing spooky-themed games all day, and he wants a little extra help, a little fundraising to go with the event. I talked about this in the last video, but it is absolutely disgusting how far the double dipping, triple dipping goes. Oh, you pay to get subs to the channel to hit the number. Okay, now you have to give me money so I can go buy the games. Okay, now when you show up for the event, be sure to have money to cheer and tip me during the event because I still need help, you guys. Now, I had predicted it was going to be a $1,000 tip goal because all of his other marathon fundraisers had been $1,000. But I think DSP might have realized that the $1,800 into another $1,000 the day after might have been pushing his luck a little too far. So he kept it at $500 for the Halloween event. Oh, also, the big thing, besides the games that were nominated, was of course the voting on DSP's costume, which was wild card. So people did not give a fuck on his categories. I was just like, you know what, Phil, we don't even get to pick the costume. You created these vague categories for the costumes, so just dress up as whatever. Now, my prediction on this had been Luigi, because he tweeted out a Mario gif when he said he had bought the costume. Plus, he's playing Luigi's Mansion this day, the day that it comes out. Now, the real costume was, of course, Yoshi. And this is hilarious because there's a meme with Yoshi not paying his taxes. I don't know how that originated, but now we have the meme of, well, it's not even a meme. It's the truth of the matter is DSP has never paid his taxes, and he's dressing up as Yoshi. So life imitates art. Now, the games Phil played on the Halloween marathon were Stalker, Visage, Blasphemous, and Bloodstained. These aren't particularly spooky games. Maybe Stalker and Visage could be considered spooky, but Blasphemous and Bloodstained are just gothic and occultish, vampires and the shit like that. So not really super Halloween themed, but I could kind of see, okay, yeah, it makes sense for the Halloween marathon. But he absolutely shit on every single game he played. He said Stalker was out of date. I mean, it is an old game, but I mean, it's a classic. It's got great mods for it, and it has very robust systems for a game of its age. You have inventory management where you have to orientate things like Resident Evil style, where you have so many spaces on a grid to put all your items away. You have the anomalies to deal with, you have targeted damage on bad guys, and you have intelligent AI for the time on the bad guys too. They'll try to draw your fire, they'll try to flank you if they're attacking you in a group. I mean, there's a lot going on in that game. But being able to, I guess, veto what his audience voted on for him to play by saying, oh, you guys pick shitty games. I mean, how wonderful is that to have a fan-funded event and you just shit on the fans' opinions on what they wanted to see you play, and then your backup is, well, I've got Luigi's Mansion 3 last, so I can skip all these shitty games and get to the good game. Now, since Stalker was one of the games he had picked to play, or had been nominated to play, he had to play it on the PC because I don't think that game's been released for any console. Now, what's great about this is there was some technical difficulties Phil was running into, trying to get it at the right resolution to fit within the capture software, etc., etc. But in his troubleshooting, while he was still live, because DSP always troubleshoots live, he doesn't practice anything off air because he wants to get paid for all the work he's doing. So there's no point in doing anything offline. No one's going to see that work. No one's going to pay him for it. It's like pooping on company time. So he flashed a glimpse of his desktop, and his desktop has only gotten worse since the February retrospective event, which was the last time that we got a glimpse of his desktop like this. And there's some bigger nuggets in here. We have a folder called Cat's Pay Stubs. We have Phil's hardship letter, which is an explanation to the bank on why they want to default on their mortgage and needs to sell their home for less than what's owed on it. Now, I'm not a banker or a lender or whatever you call those credit agents, but I do know that the credit agencies all report your lines of credit to each other. That's why you have an Equifax number and a Experian and TransUnion. I mean, these agencies all maintain the information and share it with each other. And then when establishments like banks are like, oh, should we give this guy a loan? They're going to look to see what other lines of credit are out on your name. So his bank was probably like, oh, Mr. Philip Burnell's in some dire financial straits. Let's look and see what else is going on with his credit. Oh, this motherfucker has a whole other house. Oh, this house is worth 50% more than he paid for it. He's got plenty of money to pay off this condo in Connecticut. He's not experiencing any hardships whatsoever. I mean, that's like surface level stuff. He tried to pignosis his bank, and his bank probably said no. Now, my favorite part of the Halloween stream, which is also my favorite part of most DSP streams, is the ending. Now, Phil did not hit his $500 goal. I think he was around the $200 range for the amount raised. But after he turned off the YouTube recording, he does his usual address the audience. Hey, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for tipping, blah, 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 blah. But then he goes off on Tevin, and Immortal Technique archived it on Kiwi Farms. So I have the video to play for you guys right now.
Shout out to everyone who was here and hung out and contributed. And massive fuck you to everyone over on an illegal restreamer piece of human shit who fucking steals my stuff and insults my wife and is basically a worthless piece of garbage and doesn't deserve any kind of success. Okay.
My favorite part about this, not only did he just go on a Tevin rant practically unprovoked, but that a fan-funded event and a celebration party, Halloween style kind of goofy stream with his audience, the last laugh literally goes to Tevin. Tevin gets the final word without even having to be there. Tevin is forefront in DSP's mind, living rent-free in like a fucking penthouse suite in his head. And Phil's audience is going to have that negative energy to remember the Halloween event by. That's going to be their lasting impression of the event. Last point I want to make in this Week in DSP video is a huge shout out to Actually on Kiwi Farms for doing the monthly roundup. These have gotten so big with the amount of information that they gather on cheers, subs, and tips that go into DSP's Twitch stream, also taking into account the money that he gets from Patreon. These posts are so big, he has to do 2 posts in order to capture all the information. On his part 2 post, though, he pointed out an interesting tidbit, is that 25% of the PayPal tips were from just 10 individual tips. So that means he got $1,200 spread out over just 10 tips. The summary in the first post shows that Phil had between $9,500 to maybe $11,000 to spend in October, and that he's going to be going into November with Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, and PayPal money is between $9,900, almost $10,000, and up to $11,500. Now, Phil's viewership has been down. Natural subs have been down. His sub count has only been as high as it has been because the gifted subs are actually trending upwards. And his tips appear to be increasing as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in November and December, whether these weekly goals or just more fundraising events is going to be the norm. I gave DSP the slightest bit of credit in part 1 in saying that he's trying to mix up the formula, try new things. It's one of those helpful content creator tips 101 that YouTube gives out. You know, tinker with the formula a little bit, try changing up your thumbnails, try changing up how you present your information, and see if your viewership goes up or down. But Phil, it's a direct line to his bank account. Is that going up or down? And it looks like it's ticking upwards. And November's Thanksgiving, December's Christmas. It's the giving time, and Phil wants you to give. Give frequently and give generously. All right, guys, that does it for this week in DSP. I know this one, again, was super late. I might do another short one for the week of the 4th because there's that fun little Mario and Sonic at the Olympics stream that is probably worth talking about. But beyond that, I'm probably going to slow down on the DSP content until about Thanksgiving. That's when I predict my job will probably slow down enough for me to get back to doing this kind of hobby thing. But real life is more important than detracting. So if I go radio silent for a while, that's why. Thank you guys for the continued support, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Have a good rest of your day or night.